Shoot the Shift. Aloha everyone, and welcome back to another live team podcast of Shooting the Shift. This is an impromptu, casual, conscious conversation that we do on my Instagram live every Monday at 4 p.m. EDT, 1 p.m. PDT. And this is an opportunity for us to be able to hang out as a team, to be able to connect with some of the fellow conscious creators and seekers here within the community, to be able to help introduce you to some of the amazing people who are out there making some big waves. And yeah, we're going to be getting things started here in the next few moments by being able to bring on a few of our members in the community, starting off with Lauren, aka Hypnolution. Going to be talking a little bit about subconscious programming as well as hypnotherapy, and Lauren's actually got a masterclass coming up that we'll be able to tell you a little bit more about, so stay tuned, stick around, get yourself nice and comfortable, and if you're listening to this at any point, know that we have all of these podcast episodes live on Spotify, Paradigm Shift Radio. So yeah, if you're looking to be able to tune in and check out past ones, go ahead and jump over there, and you can also find them on my YouTube at YouTube Skull Babylon. So thank you so much everyone for joining in, and let's get things ready. And thank you again to those of you who are here tuning in live, and please feel free to share this broadcast with your friends. And with that said, Lauren is here now, so we're gonna bring Lauren on in 2 minutes here, 2 seconds here rather, and yeah, let's do that. Let's get things ready. So stand by as we bring in Lauren. So for everybody here, go ahead and join me in welcoming Lauren, aka Hypnolution, onto today's episode of Shooting the Shift. Here we go. So dun, 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 dun. There's like the sound effects to this and stuff like that. So. All right, and it should be working here. Let me just make sure. There it is. Perfect. Awesome. Hi, Lauren. Welcome to Shooting the Shift. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I love the name, Shooting the Shift.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. So cool. Awesome. Well, Lauren, thank you again for just being here. And I know we were kind of like talking a bit about some stuff ahead of time, just in terms of some topics that we can explore today. I know Cammie and also Lizzie are possibly going to be joining in. So Cammie, if you want to even be able to jump in, now is totally fine. And we'll just kind of go along with the flow. And again, with these conscious conversations, it's pretty like casual. It's pretty just like an opportunity for us to, as we say, shoot the shift, and yeah, just talk about life and the things that inspire us. And yeah, we'll jump into the topic that again, I know you kind of wanted to just kind of like maybe like bring to the discussion related to like subconscious programming, because even if you just want to even just like introduce yourself and again let people know about your masterclass. And for anybody here, like definitely, if you guys aren't connected with Lauren, go ahead and connect with Lauren. She's one of our leading members in Paradigm Shift and has a lot of awesome value to be able to offer you. So Lauren, go ahead and do your intro, and then Cammie will bring you on shortly after that. So go ahead, Lauren, and welcome.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Bruno, and I'm a hypnotherapist, energy healer that helps women release pain, shame, or guilt from childhood trauma to really come into authentic love with yourself and truth with yourself, following your intuition. So I'm really excited about this masterclass on Wednesday. We're going to be talking a lot about what is trauma, where trauma can be stored in our bodies. And I could just talk forever about my own story, but I'll probably share just a little bit then. And then we'll be doing some breath work really focused on that somatic healing, and a little bit of intuitive hypnosis during it as well. And we'll have a group discussion, just kind of like these discussions that you have as well.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Lauren, I'm excited to be able to chit chat about it more. And yeah, even just like talking a bit about like hypnotherapy. I see that's the thing. Like I'm fascinated by hypnotherapy. I've never had hypnotherapy done to me, but I'm definitely interested in just kind of like learning a little bit more about it through again, like your experience with it as well. And I know it's cool because Cammie, I can see your comments. Like a lot of people here, like you guys have worked with Lauren, and people, Cammie, just like plugging in, just saying how amazing you are. So yeah, it's awesome when we get to, again, just kind of like, I like to think of all of us as just like, we're like this team of superheroes. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm pretty good at like doing, broadcasts sometimes. And then like Lauren can do like she's like basically like a hypnotherapist, psychic wizard woman. So yeah, all sorts of different abilities here across the team. So Lauren, if you're ready, let's bring on Cammie. And then again, I know Lizzie might be jumping in partway through, so we'll just kind of go with the flow there. And who knows, there might be some more people that will join us in for a little bit further into the episode. And welcome again to everybody tuned in. Lauren, I will just say, as we bring on Cammie, maybe try bringing yourself closer to the camera just so we can kind of make the microphone a little bit better, because it does sound like it's a little bit further away. So Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And even for some of you who are tuning in, like as like speakers, if you guys ever get a chance to like use headphones with microphone, probably do that just so the audio is a bit better. So with that said, we'll bring on Cami and Cami, aka Cami Luminous. We're gonna bring you on stage into Shooting the Shift. So Cami, let's bring a nice warm welcome for Cami as we bring her into today's conversation. So here comes Cami. Pew 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 sound effects. Pew 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 pew. Hey, Cami, welcome.
Hello.
Beautiful. Awesome.
You're so cute.
Awesome. Cami, welcome. Thank you again for joining us on today's Shooting the Shift. And yeah, again, I know, like, Cami, you were just hyping up Lauren and stuff like that. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about, like, what working with Lauren has been? And even then, you know, like, Lauren, I'd love to even just for you to tell us a little bit more about, like, the hypnotherapy you do. And again, even the Masterclass. So again, for those of you, like, it's a masterclass about, like, I guess trauma, like healing trauma. And that's this Wednesday at 7 p.m. EDT. It's $22, super awesome deal, lots of value there. Do it as an investment for yourself. So if you guys are just like, quick, raise your hand. Like, who here has trauma? Like, what? Like, don't we all? Like, right? So it's like, for anybody here, like, reach out to Lauren and you can get more information from her. And even if you're not able to attend the masterclass, you know, Lauren helps people, you know, at any schedule that works for you. So, but yeah, Cami, please go ahead, you know, like, introduce yourself. But if you want to even just, like, help us hype up Lauren here, please, by all means. I'd love to.
Oh my God, yes, I can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
So, pretty much, I don't know, the first time I did a hypnotherapy with Lauren was, I don't know, about a year ago? No, a little less, well, but it was pretty much life-changing. We did a little bit of past life trauma releasing, and I was able to heal a lot of my womb issues. And now, like, the onion is starting to peel and more things are starting to come out. But actually now I'm working with Lauren again. And she's just been amazing at helping and guiding, just allowing me a safe space to release, to just talk about whatever I need to talk about. I'm actually working with her also for my branding, and she's doing coaching, like spiritual coaching. So it's a beautiful process because it's not just like putting a brand out there. It's just so much more deep and like meaningful because you're actually putting a spiritual brand that is being worked from within. So basically you're pretty much putting yourself together to put this brand together and to allow others to do their own healing and in the way that you do it for yourself, and just allowing to show some tools and things for other people to do their own work. So, and she's just amazing at helping organize and putting things in like more perspective, because sometimes with your projects and your own like issues and trauma, you just get so caught up in your own head sometimes and you really don't notice it. And she's just great at putting that like shift on things and showing you like a different perspective to things. And pretty much I feel like a lot of you do that here. And as well as Brendan has helped me so much with that shift of perspective and just to heal so many things. So yeah, this community is amazing, and you both are amazing, and I'm just so grateful that thanks to this community, Lauren and I have been able to work a lot of stuff together. And I've also done some angelic hypnosis for her. And even though I'm starting to lean toward other energy healing, she's just been such a great mirror and just teacher. And I've also been able to teach her. And so it's just a really cool, I don't know, all of this community is amazing to work with.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So beautiful. Thank you so much, Cami. This, seriously, Paradigm Shift is like the start of, like, when Dark Night of the Soul was happening. I was like, what is going on? What is life? I was like angry at the world. No one really felt like I felt. And then I met everyone at Paradigm Shift, and just such deep connections with you, Cami, and such other beautiful souls, and to be able to hold each other in our own triggers and be honest with our own triggers and be able to say certain things out loud we might have never felt safe to say before. That's a beautiful container and space to be in. So any plugs for Paradigm Shift right here?
Whoop, whoop. Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. It's a pretty awesome team. I mean, obviously I'm biased. I get to hang out with you guys pretty regularly. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, and again, so for everybody here, like anytime you're tuned in to Shooting the Shift, connect with the creators that we have featured. Most of them are members within our community already. So connect with Lauren, connect with Cami. We'll probably have a couple more people joining in. I know Carly's tuned in right now. Lizzie, you're tuned in. So if you guys want to jump on in a bit, feel free. And Lauren, I'd love to even just be able to give you a chance to explain a little bit more about, you know, like what is hypnotherapy? I know we're talking about like subconscious programming and not even doing this in a way where it's like, oh, like, you know, like we're plugging the things and stuff like that, but like literally we're just talking about it. And that's where, again, even for myself, I'm there's like still like layers to being able to understand, you know, like the depth of the work that you do. So I'd just be curious, you know, like even just like off, like whatever's on your mind, you know, like if you just want to tell us a little bit more about not just like the work that you do, but like hypnotherapy in general, why it works. And then, you know, obviously that can kind of like weave in with like how hypnotherapy can help with like healing trauma, which is, again, what you're talking about in the masterclass coming up. So yeah, anything on that, feel free to share.
I'm actually signed up for her masterclass, so
that's awesome.
Yay!
Yeah, I know a few people. Like, there's literally a few people in the comments who, Becca, shout out to Becca as well. There's a few people in the comments who are interested in signing up to the masterclass. So again, if you guys are interested in signing up, just go to Lauren's profile, again, Hypnolution, and even if you're watching this in the future, check in with Lauren, because I'm sure there'll be more masterclasses still to come. And again, she does do like the one-on-one session. But yeah, Lauren, please, like as if, because again, like just talk to us as if we don't really know much about it. Like, what is hypnotherapy and like why is it important? And then like how that kind of like relates into healing trauma, if there's anything else there you want to share. So
most definitely. So hypnotherapy, I got started about 4-5 years ago, and it is such a beautiful, powerful way to really reprogram the subconscious, like we were talking about. So our subconscious mind is part of our physical body and everything that goes on within our own physical bodies. And if I can sum it up in like the shortest way, it's feeling safer in your body when you're going through either triggers, a repeated pattern, or something that you're not comfortable in, that you're not fully stepping into. And so feeling safer and safer in your own body, and then being able to really understand more about your thoughts, why they are the way they are, where they came from, which childhood has very much a lot to do with. I'm very trauma informed in terms of family enmeshment, family systems, and like our childhood where, say if your parent never made you feel comfortable expressing emotion, or they told you that you ruined their entire day because you cried, that means that the child feels like they're responsible for their parents' emotions. And a lot of the times, that's a way that we like add to our own shells, where we're either numbing something or our body is protecting us from not feeling that pain again. So it's like it adds up in layers within our, not only our physical body, but then our mental body, our emotional body, and then within our spiritual body, which is like our energetic body. I do believe that if we did have some deep trauma, that our auras might have little holes in them. That's like the way that I describe it, because I can see it that way. And I was very much trained in the science, like NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, where you can rewire your brain's, your subconscious mind, which is also your body. And then I started understanding the magic of Reiki healing, and I'm also a Reiki master. And they're so like polar opposites. It's like the left, very logic kind of portion, and then the right brain, which is very imaginative and beautiful. And our minds are actually more open to more imaginative stories to help reprogram ourselves. So, really, I think what it's helped me with the most is release the guilt that I felt for who I was, just who I was showing up as. And healthy communication, much healthier. If you're triggered, you kind of can hold that energy, release it much easier, and respond from heart-centered ways. And physical pain, like the physical pain from heart pain, like the bodily response that's associated with it. Like the tightness in your chest when you feel anxiety, you can really reprogram those as you can utilize hypnotherapy, but also the somatics, like the movement of your body, like embodiment of what is your subconscious doing. Like, do you notice when you go up on stage, you hunch over and like get nervous before you go to speak, which was something that I would go and do. And that's a subconscious little tiny thing that you might not even be aware of. Once we're aware of it, once we're aware of something, that's where the real transformation can occur, because we're stepping into that and we're being honest with ourselves.
Yeah. And again, just chit-chatting here, like for those of you just joining in, again, we're talking to Lauren, aka Hypnolution, and also Cami Luminous, who is here with us. And, you know, kind of just diving into the theme of not just like hypnotherapy, but really just like, you know, like the layers of healing that we can go through. And again, you know, like, especially as individuals, those of us who, again, are kind of like leaning more into wanting to be like conscious creators and facilitators and healers of our own, you know, like, in order to be able to learn to teach people how to heal, like we have to go through that healing ourselves. So it's interesting that for a lot of us, it's just like, you know, there are earlier parts in our journey where those traumas will just kind of like overwhelm us, and they'll be such a big part of our reality. But then over time, you know, we begin to perhaps come into contact with other teachers and other modalities, and then we learn how to go through the process of healing. And then eventually, as you go through that, eventually your healing can actually become like the beacon for somebody else's healing. And when other people see you and they're just like, wait a second, like what? Like, you're coming from a childhood of trauma? Like, that's where I am right now. And for me to see that in you is actually so inspiring, because it shows me that there's hope, that there's hope for me, and there's hope for all of us as well. And, you know, I think a big reason why we're here as individuals, both like, you know, within our own body, within community, and within the globe, is to heal. And when we're talking about healing, to me, healing is literally just the process of like harmony. It's taking something that was once chaotic and then like bringing it back into a state of harmony, relatively speaking. And I'm curious, you know, even for Cami and for anybody else here in the Instagram chat, like what have been, you know, some other modalities that have definitely like helped you within healing over the years. And I know even you were talking about there, like the body movement. The body movement is like such a key thing, because for me, that was like a big thing that really like came into my awareness a few years ago, when I actually met another teacher, and she specialized in like somatic therapy. And so somatic therapy is, again, you know, the body. And oftentimes this is something, again, we're not really taught this, but like trauma physically gets stored in the body. And so that's where, you know, like movement and exercise and massage, deep tissue massage, and like releasing it through vocal exercises, you know, like roars and all of these things are actually so important. And that's where, you know, even within the meditations that we would do in the morning quite regularly for a while, you know, for us to be able to do the somatic work, it isn't something where, and I'll just say this and I'll pass it back. I think the process of healing isn't something that we want to just do when we're at our depths. It's actually something that we want to be able to kind of like implement as a routine on the regular. You know, don't wait for that energy to become like so heavy and in your body that you're left with no other option but to heal it. You know, if you can kind of just like go throughout your day, and if you do on a regular day, you're probably going to like take on a little bit of energy, so to speak, and that kind of happens. And, or, you know, like someone might say something and it might kind of like trigger something within you, you know, like it's your responsibility to be able to decide, like, what do you do at the end of the day, or what do you do after the next day? And to have those modalities, those methods, and to be like, oh, like, a lot of it is becoming more capable of listening to the needs of your body, and then knowing like what methods you can use to be able to help meet those needs. That's what I feel is a big part of healing. But yeah, again, just kind of shooting the shift here. Cami, if you want to even just jump in, and then Lauren, we can kind of go back to you as well. But yeah, like different modalities or just the concept of healing in general, whatever you guys feel is on your heart and you want to share, by all means, go ahead.
I definitely resonate with that, you know, feeling of being like just, and then healing is just like coming into being grounded, being balanced, like bringing feminine, masculine, all those things, like just into a place of, yeah, peace and calm. And like a tool that has really helped me is definitely meditation. But meditating with angels has been huge for me, like huge, huge, huge. Like angels, I pretty much talk to them all day long. And like it's crazy how they communicate with me. Like they will send crazy reflections. Like I know these things are coming from physical things, but it's pretty much for me like, if you believe that it's like a message for you, then it's meant for you. And if you believe it, like the more you put power into the positive things and those little like guidances popping up and the synchronicities and all that, like you really start seeing changes, and you start appreciating so many things. So I'm definitely grateful for the communication with the angels, and that definitely happens through meditation. And a huge part of that was because I'm an angelic hypnosis healer. I don't know. So when I was learning about all of that, I learned about the angels, and like I kind of realized that I've always had such a huge connection to the angelic realm. I wasn't aware of it, and so that's definitely something I just dove into like crazy, as well as the chakras, like balancing, just doing meditation for balancing the chakras. And now I'm like really, really loving. I've always been a dancer, but like for some reason I had been blocked in that area for a really long time. So I'm just like, since the last year, I've been like starting to move my body again and allowing that energy to move, and all the centers that are blocked, like just letting them just start to release. And so ecstatic dancing has been also just something divine during the just allowing the body to just do whatever it needs, music, no music, but just allowing it to flow. So if the muscles need to move a certain way, or because I have been doing a ton of yoga, and there's certain positions and things that the body just doesn't, the body knows, and I've learned to listen to my body. That's a huge thing. So I've been just learning how to allow it to do its own thing, like, and it's actually been really amazing and freeing, and just seeing it heal itself just by allowing it to be, like if he needs to, like if it's yelling at me, if it goes to the point where, hey, there's a lot of shit going on in there, shift going on in there. Like it'll show me either through my body, my physical body, or I'll just explode, so it's just not allowing the body to get to that point, and just being gentle with it, like really, instead of fighting with it, working with it and sending it love. And instead of like, hey, why are you like this, and why do I have this knots, and why is my head hurting, like instead, like, hey, I'm hearing you, like, what's up, like, what's going on, why is it hurting, what do you need? And so it
Yeah,
definitely changes the dynamics, and like just
definitely.
doing it yourself, like I'm not saying don't do yoga or don't do, like, just do the things that the body is asking to do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the body is constantly sending us messages, and so if we can learn to identify and listen and even get curious about those messages, that's super important. And a big thing, I remember somebody said this to me, very simply put, but it's like, like pain is a messenger, if you think about it. So if there is pain within your body or even within your heart or your mind or something like that, like that's sending you a signal to be able to say like, hey, maybe there's somewhere that you want to be able to like send more love as well. And I appreciate, again, not to say this, I'll pass it over to Lauren, where like a lot of the healing actually takes place naturally when the energy is capable of just being able to move freely. So when the energy is moving as it naturally is meant to, then the healing can kind of take place. But like that energy, again, it's prevented from doing that due to like blockages and stagnation. And these can be energetic blockages. They can also be like mental blockages, which again, I know, Lauren, that's a lot of what you work with as well. And I'd be curious if there's, again, anything else you just want to add on top of with what Cammy was saying, and even just, again, like going back into the hypnotherapy, because I'm sure when you work with people with hypnotherapy, there's probably like common blockages that come up. I'm curious if you can even just kind of give us a little bit of insight, because again, I think even for people who are tuned in, they'd be like, oh, like that's actually like, I relate to that. That's actually, more common than I thought it was or something. So anything in that general, if you want to jump into that or anything else, Lauren.
Yeah, definitely. Cammy, for sure, like when you're feeling that energy and sending love to it, and your connection to the angels are so beautiful as well. Cammy, if anyone has a chance, definitely check out her angelic hypnosis. It is beautiful. It was wild. We did a session together, and then you're very connected to Metatron the most as one of your spirit guides, and on her wall was like this geometric shadow pattern,
Right.
and you didn't know where it came from. You're like, where is this reflection coming from? Anywho, that was amazing. But
Yeah, that was so crazy that day. It was so crazy. Because that one, yeah, we never found the source for it.
Oh, weird. Chirpy.
It was so beautiful. But yeah, so the mental blockages and then the emotional blockages, it's almost like they go hand in hand. So hypnotherapy, we look a lot at left brainers dominant and right brain dominant people. And a lot of common things with like a left brain dominant person would be insomnia, or not being able to sleep at night, or the fear of loss of control, like not being able to like let go of a situation. That's very like left logical brain. More right brain predominant people are a little afraid of like movement, flying, those types of things that are more physical. They're more right brain dominant fears that people have. But really what people come to me the most with issues with is their relationships with their parents, relationships with family, and then obviously those patterns that happen from childhood, the relationship with your father or your mother, they're going to repeat themselves within our relationships until we really are aware of what's happening and how our parents treated us, how our parents treated each other, and the relationships that are really just playing themselves to be almost the same. So it depends. It depends on the scenario, but hypnosis is very similar to meditation in a lot of ways, but hypnosis is like you bring up the anxiety and the problem in order to really drop into those different brainwave states and rewrite our patterns. And also, like, just alchemy purposes, like hypnosis can bring upon traumas that we're not even aware of that can exist within us that we're just blocking or we have amnesia from. And that's when, certain things like disassociation can occur because of that blocking of that pain. It's our body's way of protecting itself, like really thinking that it's protecting itself when it's not. So once we dig a little bit deeper, we can find the root of it And you don't really even need to go exactly at the root of it, but those scenarios where even like, I'm thinking of like a time that as a child when, I'm trying to think of a scenario of my own, but just certain instances in childhood where no one else was there for us, where we can kind of rewrite those patterns. And it's not always in childhood too. Obviously, traumatic events can happen and they can happen throughout our lives. It's really when a shock to your system happens, and like that shock created that feeling of despair, anger, sadness, and it was like this shock that kind of like comes out from your physical, emotional, mental body into your spiritual body. And the more we work on it, those triggers, I'm like using my hands to try to explain it. The triggers that come into our body, we don't react to them as fast when we understand why they're there. If that makes sense in a way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, you kind of said it before, and just kind of like reiterate, like, you know, healing is a process of making the unconscious conscious. And that's a big part of what hypnotherapy does. It kind of like goes underneath the layers and the surfaces, and really just helps us kind of, you know, like see which might not have been seen, or at least, I guess, see it in a different way. And I love the idea of like how hypnotherapy like is, you know, it's neuroscience in a lot of way, and the brain is much more malleable than we have led to believe. And, you know, I think a big thing within, you know, our abilities to be able to navigate our own healing also goes hand in hand with our ability to be able to shift into a brain state at will. And I imagine, you know, and again, this is where it's also kind of just like opening up for more discussion, that, you know, again, like with something like hypnotherapy, it's one thing where, you know, someone like Lauren and even Cami and someone who's familiar with hypnosis can facilitate someone to this point. But eventually, you know, we can begin to get to a point where we become familiar with accessing these brain states, that we can begin to access them through our own will, through, you know, just connecting to the breath, or, you know, just initiating kind of a thought pattern as there as well. But yeah, again, I'm just kind of talking here, but if there's anything else you got, Lauren, if you want to be able to even just kind of like share a bit about, you know, like when someone does like a hypnotherapy session with you, you know, like what does that usually look like? You know, because I'm sure like for anybody here who's tuned into the chat, if you're curious about, you know, working with Lauren or Cami and curious about hypnosis and hypnotherapy, drop a 777 in the chat. And again, for those of you who may just be joining in, Lauren's got an awesome masterclass coming up this Wednesday. It's $22. It's all about being able to heal through trauma, and it's going to relate into hypnotherapy, and also you said there's some other methods in there, some somatic methods in there, and group discussions. So it'll be a powerful way to be able to like connect with other people, and again, just be in that space of healing and support. But yeah, Lauren and Cami, you guys can, because again, I'm legitimately learning from you as well. You know, when you're guiding someone into a hypnotherapy session, what does that usually look like? What's the process of that? And then like, what's the outcome of that as well?
Yeah. So every hypnotherapy session will definitely look different. It depends on the intention going in. But more times than not, we'll definitely talk and really see what's coming up, what really, any fears we might have right now, and kind of be that mirror and hold it there where we could step into our greater power. And so then when we drop into hypnosis, and hypnosis is such a naturally occurring state. It happens within all of us many times a day. It's just when we're entranced in something. It's when we're like listening to a very good song and we're flowing with it. So when we access hypnosis, it's more natural than not. But sometimes we might have a preconceived notion about it in terms of like hypnotherapy, the word. But so it's usually around 2.5 hours, and the first hour we'll really, really dive deep into what your real intentions are, what your goals are. Throughout not even my program, I have a 3-month program one-on-one, but I also have group programs as well that are coming up that I'm excited to tap deeper into. But really, it's focused on understanding the movement of our bodies, how our mind and our body are interrelated, and then releasing any pain. So most clients feel lighter after sessions. They don't feel physical pain from anxiety, don't feel physical pain from even diabetes, getting into like healthier states for feeling safe in your body when triggers come up, when those situations come up, conversations with family come up. It's really just feeling healthier in our body. So releasing that pain, guilt, and shame is like my specialty. Because a lot of the times we feel guilt, and it's like the layer. It's not our true emotion. The guilt that we're feeling is really a fear underneath it all. And we don't even know why. There could be many different reasons for that. So really releasing that is understanding that where you felt that guilt, it may or may not have been yours to feel. And so when we go back and understand more about our bodies and our minds and how they're so interrelated, when we're in that different brainwave state, that's where you can release those triggers that are physically coming up for you, and emotionally and mentally. Those intrusive thoughts, those are released. Better sleep is usually a big thing. Activated dreams are really, and spiritual powers, like owning our spiritual gifts more, really like taking ownership of our psychic powers and like who we are authentically. I think that's the biggest thing, is people come out of, they don't feel as guilty for just stepping up into the next version of ourselves, which we're constantly doing by day and day, which is why those of us that are healers, we're on this healing journey always. We're just holding ourselves in compassion and curiosity for what's the next step.
Yeah. The key word there, curiosity, like that's where, you know, when I usually am having discussions with people and everything like that, like developing the habit of initiating curiosity when pain arises is so powerful. Because again, you know, you start to see it as something that's like indicating something that's on a deeper level. So rather than just kind of like reacting to it, you know, just like, oh, like I feel like a little bit of resentment right now. Like, where is that coming from? Like, let's dive a little bit deeper. And again, sometimes you can do it on your own, and that can be journaling. But I think one of the best ways to be able to do it is when you have somebody else to be able to facilitate that space for you, so you can initiate the conversations. And again, even with the sessions you do, like, you know, there's the part where you're putting them into the hypnosis, but like a big part of that prior to is the conversation, and you just being able to help them feel comfortable and asking the right questions that will allow them to kind of like peel back the layers. And a lot of people, like, they don't have that, you know, like they don't really have another person to be able to talk to. So there's a lot of layers that are left unpeeled. So with the right questions, you know, it can kind of guide someone. So I think, you know, when we talk about Lauren or Cami working with the people that they work with, you know, like you guys are guiding, you're guiding them. And then again, you know, ultimately at the end of the day, it's the inner work that the person is initiating, but you're just kind of leading them away along the path. Cami, is there more you want to talk about? Even just again, you know, like in your sessions and how you work with people, or just hypnosis and healing, anything else that's on your heart right now?
So my experience with Lauren, with hypnotherapy specifically, it was just so how a session was like, she first sent me this document and like questions and things, so she, you know, could know what it was about. And I do that very similarly as well. I believe that we all kind of work that way, like, because of course we want to know what's going on, and just to know what we're going into and how we can best guide and serve and channel the energies for the person. So that was really cool. Just getting started with that part. Then well, the thing is, since we're friends, like we talk more than I guess than she would talk to a regular client. But we did have a beautiful conversation before the session, and I just felt like a safe container, you know, and that's pretty much what you want with this, and like having the person feel that they're cared for and they're just not gonna be manipulated into whatever, you know, because TV and so many things show hypnosis like such a crazy thing. And so it just allows the person to just sit there and be calm and know that everything's okay. And pretty much that you're in control. Like the hypnotherapist is there as a guide and as a communicator, um, and as a facilitator for you to perhaps, like with questions, open up to you to see other things. But you're never being manipulated into anything that you don't want to go into, and you have control over what's happening to you. So that was a huge thing, because before I got into hypnosis, Lauren was the first person that I did hypnosis with. So I came in with all these conceived assumptions, and it was just so different. It was like I was in control the whole time. It was just allowing for things to show up, come up, letting them come into the light and be seen and healed, So it was just a beautiful experience. And stemming from that, I was able to really heal a big part of myself. And that was a miracle to me. I just felt like it was miraculous. And so when I got into angelic hypnosis, the work that I had already done with Lauren was just such a guide and inspiration. And it's a little different because with angelic hypnosis, you directly work with angels, and pretty much they're guiding you the whole time. And it's more about cord cutting, and obviously it's the same basic concept of trauma healing and moving into different spaces and being able to move on from what you've always been in. But it's just a little different with the angels. So they pretty much, Archangel Raphael does all the healing, while Archangel Michael is helping cut all those cords and keeping you grounded and connected and safe, and with that feeling of you're rooted, you're safe. So it works a little bit different, but pretty much it's the same. We want the same thing, which is to overcome those blockages and overcome those, or understand where that trauma is coming from, and so we can actually work through it.
Yeah. No, it's fascinating. I love how there are so many different modalities for healing, and that's the part that's really unique, especially here again, like within the paradigm shift community. Like all of us as creators, like we're all healers, but we all have kind of like different styles and facilitation. So it's cool that even like Cami worked with Lauren, which helped initiate her finding more of her style. So it's like when you kind of go through your own process of healing, it helps you connect more with like, your soul's calling. Because again, your focus is less on just like, dealing with the everyday trauma that's just kind of at the forefront of your consciousness. And instead, as that heals, it's kind of like clearing your view so that you can begin to see further into the future, and you can really begin to feel more into your intuitive heart space. And again, with that, it's just like you get to ask the deeper questions of, like, oh, like, what am I inspired to do? Like, that's the thing, the process of healing is also like the gift of freedom, the gift of liberation. Like suddenly this world opens up to you where you're able to put your focus more towards, the excitement of new avenues, things that maybe you haven't really thought too much about to do. So it's something very real where a lot of people, their trauma that they hold on to is kind of like keeping them between themselves and, living their dreams, so to speak. But at the same time, I think the thing with trauma and with healing is that you can't skip it. You can't just go past it. Like if there are people again who are listening to this right now, healing is something that will take time, but it's something that will also, like require a little bit of courage. And I think the more that we can find comfortable spaces, like with Lauren and like with Cami, where, step one, like even just like feeling safe and then like removing the shame. A lot of us who carry trauma, all of us who carry trauma, you know, like the trauma that you carry in some form or another, whether that be, you know, like something what may relatively be big or something that may be small, it's all relative to you because it's going to be based on your personal experience. But, you know, oftentimes I kind of like to bring in this higher perspective that a lot of us, you know, the trauma that we're actually going through as soul is something that is also like helping heal the collective trauma of something that's much bigger than us. So like when you heal within yourself, you're actually healing within the collective. And there's actually kind of like fragments of this like kind of like shadowness that's across all of us, and literally like by you healing it in yourself, it actually heals it in the world. Yeah. Because like I guarantee you that there's probably like stuff in each side and every single one of us that, you know, is stuff that other people are dealing all over the place. And even though we can't go out there and immediately heal it with every single circumstance, if we can heal it within ourselves and then thus prevent it from continuing into the next cycle, like that's so powerful. And there's one thing that I'll just say here that was really powerful where, you know, as soul, as spirit, like we think about, and this is again where with what Lauren and Cami also talk about and work with, where a lot of the healing that we're dealing with, it may not necessarily even be from this lifetime alone, depending on how metaphysical you want to be able to look into it. You know, we're also talking about literally trauma and wounds that have been passed on through ancestral lineage, like stuff that's like literally like within like our energetic like karma, like from previous lifetimes, literally within our DNA. Yet here we are within this lifetime, thanks to the communities, thanks to modalities, thanks to support from friends and family, such as what we have here, where as individuals, we literally have the ability to be able to heal like what could literally be generations of karma, generations of trauma in a single lifetime. Like literally, like the trauma literally like is healed in this generation, and then, you know, bringing in this new generation where, you know, they really just get to experience like this new level of freedom. Now, at the same time, that doesn't mean that trauma will never happen again, but I think it's being able to not necessarily be like in this situation where we're moving into the future and we're constantly trying to avoid things that may or may not create conflict, not even just trauma, but like conflict and challenges and struggles, but rather being able to consciously meet those moments with a little bit more confidence and a little bit more understanding and a little bit more curiosity, where you can address it, where you can address it and you can deal with it, opposed to putting it under the rug, opposed to trying to dodge it and trying to avoid it and everything like that. And then, you know, as we evolve through that practice, suddenly, you know, something that in the past, you know, might have taken us like years to heal, you know, if something similar happens again in the future, it could literally be something that we could process in like a couple days if we're just like, oh, you know, like this is something that I know what to do now. So we actually become better healers and facilitators, and that will happen. Like that will happen. You don't just heal trauma and heal pain and then never deal with it again. The universe will bring it back to you in different formats. But now that you develop the consciousness, you'll be able to meet it with a different vibration, with a different heart, and feel more confident in the modalities. Lauren, I saw you snapping your fingers there to the idea of like healing generational trauma in one lifetime. And I think that's a very, very powerful idea. We'll get close to wrapping this up here in the next little bit. We still got time, but Lauren, go ahead. Whatever's on your heart that you want to be able to share. Again, inviting people here to be able to connect both with Lauren and both with Cami. Again, Lauren's got her Trauma Healing Masterclass Wednesday, September 15th. It's $22 to be able to register that. Highly recommend it for everyone. And not even just a masterclass. Highly recommend you guys connect with Lauren and Cami in general. So both of them offer a variety of services. So feel free to just reach out. Maybe send them a direct message and be like, hey, I was listening to you guys on Shooting the Shift. And yeah, always happy to be able to support and hold space for the work that you guys do for the community. And I know that even just us doing here, people are going to be like, oh, like I synchronistically tuned in and I'd love to be able to connect with you guys. And I couldn't recommend you guys enough. So for anybody here who feels synchronistically called to connect with Lauren and Cami, please, by all means, they're literally earth angels right here in front of us. So Lauren, go ahead. Anything else you want to share, as I'm just like making you guys blush by hyping you up so much. So
I know. Thank you. Thank you so much for this. It was such a surprise Cami around. I'm so happy to see you.
I know. I'm so
Did
glad
you watch
I was able to. I was with a client, but it was much shorter, so I'm so glad I was able to join.
Beautiful. But yeah, thank you again for having me. I think what's on my heart right now is Let's see. It doesn't make anyone any less of a person if they have trauma in their bodies and their minds. You're still a perfect, whole, complete, loving person. And sometimes we forget that. So this helps you, being in spaces like this helps to remind you again.
Absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful. And Lauren, do you want to just anything else people should know about the upcoming class or any other work that you provide, services that you provide? Please, by all means, go ahead and share. So, and maybe even just like a little bit, again, just kind of a recap because some people joined in later. So the Trauma Masterclass coming up this Wednesday, coming up soon for those of you tuning in live or listening to this the day after. What would that be? Like, what would they experience? What would they get out of that? If you want to just give us a quick run through of the itinerary.
Yeah. I'm also coming. Sorry.
Cammy's going, so you'll get to see Cammy there. And you'll get to build relationships and friendships with these people, and who knows, they'll be in your life for years to come. Who knows? So yeah.
Probably.
That's what I'm hoping. That's the intent for sure. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So this Wednesday, September 15th at 7 p.m. is a trauma masterclass. It sounds like much worse than it is. It will be lighthearted. We will be talking about a little bit about childhood, our attachment styles, trauma bonds, really what is trauma and how it can develop, and a little bit more about our own stories, anyone that feels anything to discuss. We're then going to be doing some really deep trauma-focused breath work to kind of feel into our energetic bodies and where that trauma could be stored. And then we'll be doing some really releasing hypnotic. I'm going to play with the energy of the room, really, whoever's coming in and how we're showing up and what the intent and how the energy's feeling in the room. We'll kind of focus on that hypnosis portion. And then any movement at the end to release as well. So it'll be a beautiful room. We have some amazing people in the group. I'm so happy to have everyone. And if you are looking to connect, follow me at Hypnolution. And Cammy at Luminous Camila.
Yes. And Lauren, just to confirm, 7 p.m. is that what time zone? Is that EDT or
EDT.
7 p.m. EDT, 4 p.m. PDT. And I know Lacey's joining that as well. Like we were actually talking about she was making quiche in the kitchen today. So Lacey will be there, Cammy will be there, Lauren will be there, and maybe you'll be there, you, the person watching this. And I hope you do. I hope you feel called to check it out. It will definitely be worth it. So
this is not my first one. Also, I want to say the like Lauren said, it sounds a lot more serious than it is. Usually it's fun and releasing and just so
yeah, because there's going to be like the movement and kind of like the ecstatic expression and stuff like that, probably some like roars and things, so the energy.
It's so fun.
That's
you guys need to come
there. So cool. Well, again, we're getting close to the end. Cammy, please go ahead. Anything else that you want to be able to share that's on your heart? And again, please feel free to let people know what you offer and invite people to connect to your stuff. And thank you again for being here.
So what I want to say is, or what's coming through is that, and along the lines of what Lauren said, we've been told that we are broken pretty much since we're very, very little. And that's not true. We are not broken. We are pretty incredible, miraculous little machines. And we have all the tools that we need, especially within our breath. So whenever you need it, like you feel anxious or whatever you're feeling, just remember to go back to your biggest tool, which is your breath, and know that from there you can start to develop a relationship with your body that is more kind and more loving and healing.
Yeah, well, it's beautiful. Awesome. Well,
thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining in and for making this what it is. And thank you again to everybody who's in the comments here as well. I've been seeing you guys' comments there. And for those of you listening to this in the future on YouTube or on Spotify, again, the links for them will be in the info for this video. So be sure to connect with Cammie and with Lauren here as well. And yeah, we'll just get things wrapped up here with any closing gratitude. So again, gratitude to every single person for being here, for showing up, for doing the work. And whether you're connecting directly with Lauren and Cammie, again, just knowing that, you know, like there are many different modalities. So follow what makes your heart sing, and find a person that you can just be able to feel comfortable and safe with. And there's so much love and support for you all around you. So just inviting you to really be able to feel that at all times. And yeah, we'll just go around one more time. Lauren, Cammie, any gratitude that you guys just want to share, and then we'll be done for the day. So Lauren, any closing gratitude?
Gratitude for just you all. So much gratitude for you all. Thank you for tuning in, and Brendan and Cammie. So much love for you both.
Awesome. And Cammie, go ahead. Any closing gratitude?
Just gratitude to be here. It had been a while, and for the space, for listening, and just I love you all so dearly.
Beautiful. Awesome. Well, I'm feeling, since we do just have an extra minute, how about we just end it off with just a little bit of breath, and just invite everyone to just kind of like bring themselves into their heart. So I'll just do a quick little guided mini moment of breath here. So for everybody tuned in here, just really allowing ourselves to receive the wisdom and the heartfelt inspiration that was shared here during this discussion. So for everybody here, when you're ready, just go ahead and gently close your eyes. Just allowing yourself to breathe here, soft, gentle inhales, and soft, gentle exhales. And as you allow yourself to breathe, just allow yourself to open your heart to the potential for healing that is already inside of you. In any moment of any day, know that as you breathe through your heart, you breathe in this beautiful source of white light. And right now, as you breathe through your heart, just imagine this beautiful light just moving through your body, moving through your chest, down through your shoulders, your arms. And wherever this beautiful white golden light moves through, just allowing any healing that's needed to take place as it clears any blockages, and just allowing any stagnant energy to release. So with each breath, just feeling this energy just emanating from your heart space down through your chest, through your torso, through your ribs, through your hips, through your groin, your thighs, your knees, all the way down through your shins, right to your toes, and gently back up through the base of your spine as you adjust your posture, up through your back, through the back of the neck, through the face, all the way up through around the ears and right to the top of the crown. And just imagine this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful golden light surrounding your body, and just allowing it to transmute and just transform, and just inviting in this natural healing process that is who you are. You are a harmonic being moving through many different stages, many different forms, and just inviting you to be able to send love to all of those fractions and fractals of yourself, and just inviting in gratitude for who you are in this moment and who you are becoming. So just take an extra couple moments here as you just breathe in gently. Take another deep inhale here. Inhale. Nice big exhale, nice big sigh. And another big inhale and nice big sigh. Maybe just doing a quick little body shake, somatic shake. And gently, when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes, return your awareness to the space around you. Beautiful. Awesome. Wonderful. Awesome. Beautiful. All right. So thank you again, everyone, so much for joining us for shooting the shift, concluding this broadcast, even just after that meditation, just inviting anyone, get some water, do any grounding work, get some fresh air, take care of yourself, take care of your vessel, and your vessel will take care of you. And again, be sure to connect with Cami and with Lauren on Instagram. You can find Cami at Luminous by Camilla Bruce, and also Lauren at Hypnolution on Instagram. The links for those are in the info for this video on all platforms. And again, be sure to check out Spotify Paradigm Shift Radio for more episodes and the past episodes of Shooting the Shift and more, and also YouTube Skull Babylon. And we'll be back here again Mondays at 4 p.m. EDT. And if you guys are looking to connect further with our community of conscious creators, we do have our Patreon membership. You can find that through the info in this video and through my profile link. Definitely inviting and encouraging you to check that out if you would like to be able to get further involved within our community as a conscious creator. And yeah, even join us again, not only to be able to tune in, but even on air for more of these Shooting the Shift episodes. So much love to everybody here. Looking forward to Lauren's masterclass. So go check that out. Send Lauren a direct message. Let her know you were tuned in. And yeah, we'll wrap it up here. So Lauren, Cami, feel free to join me in saying farewell. And until next time, sending you guys love. Woo!
Bye. Love you.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, much love, keep it shifty, and welcome to the future. Have a great day.